I'm recording. That started out as a bit and then turned into me actually not being able to get the word recording out. So that was a fun experience.
Congratulations.
No, I don't think this is a kind of, and this didn't feel like a good thing.
No, it didn't, but I mean, like, I was going to let you kind of do your thing.
Whatever happened to Undertale?
Undertale?
Nothing. Sans Undertale died. That was the whole plot of Deltarune.
Oh. When's the Pope finishing Undertale 2?
Not soon enough.
He's doing it right now. That's what he's doing. That's his whole shtick now. he's canceled all services and is solely making his living by live streaming.
So Daniel made it less than 30 seconds. That referencing.
Imagine.
Yeah, what if the Pope was a live streamer?
What if the Pope? I would watch. I'm not even gonna lie.
It's one of those things where, like, whenever someone is done, like, doing anything important, they just start being a live streamer when they're like a celebrity, you know? Like Ronda Rousey is live streaming now. So it's like...
She is?
Yeah.
Why?
And I don't know. Probably she's doing it on Facebook, so... And it keeps showing up as an ad, like a sponsored thing. So Facebook probably gave her like a ton of money to be like, hey, start live streaming. And then the guy from Panic at the Disco, Brendan Urie, is live streaming now.
Why?
So, again, you just run out of good things to do and you start live streaming.
I mean, I guess that's the same reason I'm live streaming, but it's like certain people, I just don't want them live streaming.
Okay.
Flip side, my sister did post.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, I didn't want to say it, but I'm really glad that you did say it for me, so that I could just move on and not be the one.
I'm just letting you dig this hole. Like, listen, dude, this is how you feel. Live your best life.
It is how I feel. I'm glad that we're on the same page.
Cool.
Flip side, people live streaming has led us to this video that Edge posted in the music channel of Hozier singing "Toxic" by Britney Spears.
That is pretty good.
Yeah, it was kind of neat.
Yeah, it's been a good time. All right, are we gonna clap in, or were we just gonna?
Oh yeah, I guess we do need to clap.
2, 1.
So the other day I finally got around to making like a Bon Appetit recipe.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Was it the broth?
It was the broth. Brad's master stock. Now, problem being, I don't have any turkey wings, so I had to make do. I did smoked turkey neck. And
Country girls make do as well, yeah.
The country girls do be making do.
And drinking Mountain Dew.
No, I don't like this.
Country girls make do.
Yeah, I
don't
love that.
And I'm just trying to power through.
I don't want it.
I like it.
No.
My cook juice. Okay, I'll let you move on. I'm not gonna hold you guys up with the.
I don't like you. I don't like any of this.
Country girls. Okay, no. What happened when you made do?
Well, I ended up cooking this stock for like 9 hours. It was just boiling away on my stove.
It's a coward amount of time.
I know, right? If I had more time, I would like to do this for like 14 hours and like let it really cook down, because there was still a little bit of flavor in that meat by the end of it, and I'd like it to just be like flavorless protein at the end of it.
Now, kids, don't try this at home. But when my roommate and I, we used to make bone broth all the time, and we would just basically take like the excess meats and bones and things of that nature, like fatty tissues, from like the meat that his parents would send from their little farm, and we would just put it in a pot with all the other goodies and leave it there sometimes for like several days.
Jesus.
Just simmering on the stove, and it's like we would just like both leave the house with this simmering on the stove. Like I said, don't do that at home. But
yeah, I was about to say that is
when you can
one
afford
thing
to
I was
leave
trying
a
to
broth
not
cooking
do.
for 36 hours straight. Not a bad call.
I shouldn't say, if Michelle listens, she's gonna be mad. I used to do that when I was in college, more often than I would care to admit, especially with like roasts and shit. Like if I know I got classes that day and I want to come home to a roast, listen.
Yeah, that's totally normal behavior. Although cowards will say
dangerous.
Don't do it. I mean, sure,
definitely not something I should do. But also sometimes, listen, you want your food.
Have a quality like device that's being stored in, and you're using a GFCI circuit, like you're fine. Just plug it into your sink. That way, like you at least like guaranteed to have the GFCI, so it's not gonna have an electrical fire start. And if it does fall, it'll unplug itself, or if it's not unplugged, it'll again trip the breaker. Like you're fine. Just
Just don't be
Don't be a
stupid,
baby.
stupid.
I mean, but you're also not supposed to leave the house with the dryer running. So
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
yeah, that's
Michelle and I have had
that's
talks about
supposed
that
to
a
be
couple of
also
times.
incredibly dangerous.
What do you mean you've had talks about? Is that like a real concern people have?
Yeah. Michelle would, because I didn't hear about this either until Michelle and I moved in together. And yeah, no, you're super not supposed to do that because the shit
I
can light on
wouldn't say
fire.
super.
We are definitely
Everything could light on
not.
fire all the time.
Well, I know that, and you know that, but I don't know, man. Apparently,
Cowards.
people worry about this.
I mean, like when I went on my giant 2-week road trip that we'll bring up eventually, like I took precautions. You know,
This guy's
I like
flexing on us.
yeah, right.
I know, right?
I unplugged the my water, like my hot water pot. I turned off all of my like
Hot water
power
pot?
strips. Yeah, for like tea and stuff. It's not a teapot because I'm not
An
brewing
electric
tea
kettle.
in it. Yes, that's
It's
it.
a kettle.
Electric
Electric kettle. Okay.
Hot water
But a
pot.
hot water pot
electric-
is acceptable, I would say.
I
I know what you're
didn't know
talking
if you meant
about.
like you unplugged your hot water tank for a second. I'm like, how and why?
No. That stayed running because it lives in the basement and I don't actually know which one is mine.
Nice.
Yeah. I was actually just talking about that with my brother today. He came over, we were, making pizza and he washed his hands and that water gets really hot. And I was like, yeah, eventually I'll turn it down. But the problem is I don't know which water heater is mine and I'm not about to go turn down my neighbor's water.
Do it.
Yep. I mean, you can probably ask your landlord, realistically.
My new landlord actually probably does not know because he just got the property.
Fun.
Yeah.
Guess you guys are going to find out together.
New landlord.
No. Anyway, yeah, I went around and I unplugged everything. I was, as careful with it as I could be.
Be careful with. Oh, okay.
With,
what
like,
you're
fire
doing now
things.
with I thought you meant like you were careful when you unplugged like your kettle, and I was like,
Yeah, I mean, you never know.
you don't
dude.
have to like
Listen, you could start a fire with that.
just starts ripping like the prongs out of the wall sideways.
I did that once. I was
You
young.
didn't.
No, you super shouldn't. I got stuck in there.
Put forks in there sometimes for the taste.
Did that too. I once
What?
tried to get
We call it the old spicy fork where I'm from.
I was trying to do something stupid and like trying to. Oh, you know what? I remember it. I was trying to see how far. I was trying to see how far into the socket I could get the knife or whatever before it zapped me. Turns out the only way you find the answer to that
It's getting zapped.
is getting zapped.
Wow.
Do you guys remember the image that was like, how could you do this to me, Donovan? I can't remember what the guy's name was. I think it was like Donovan or like Darian. And he was like, you gave your own brother the old spicy key. Which apparently is a maneuver where you put their keys in the oven for a while and then you take it out and then you give the keys to them. It's not a real thing, but it's the old spicy key. And I love that.
I do love the phrase "the old spicy key."
Is it?
You gave your own brother the old spicy key.
Is it this?
I don't know. Why do you put everything in that channel?
Because this is the
Well,
text
what
for
did you
voice
channel
Why
this
did
channel.
you
for?
I have to click on a link to see if it's the right image.
I don't know,
Yes,
man.
this is it.
Yeah, that is
Dominic. The name was Dominic.
The old spicy keychain.
You weren't using the oven to bake cookies. You were heating up my keys to give me the old spicy keychain.
I
You
don't
give
love
your
that.
own brother the spicy keychain, Dominic. It's a great image. I love this. Also, the art in it, for whatever reason, reminds me of the King like in the Court of the Crimson King.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's every time I see
No,
it, I
in a
just am
big way.
reminded of like that album.
But I look at it and I really, really, really hate it. It's very ugly art.
I like it.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
It's my friend. Me and
Well,
Dominic
okay.
hanging out, giving the old spicy key. How could you give your own brother? Yeah, so that was a nice little aside there. Noah, what else did you unplug before you left your house for weeks?
Well, that's it though. It was my computer, any power strips, and like, my Wi-Fi, things like that. The kettle, things that I was worried, oh, they have a heating element, or oh, they're connected to something expensive. Everything like that got unplugged, But I've literally like that's the
Never heard
extent
that you're
of
not
my
supposed
thoughts.
to. You've never heard that
I've
you're not supposed to leave the house with the
never-
dryer off.
This is the first time I've ever heard of that. I've
Mm-hmm.
always been of the opinion that as long as I keep the lint trap clean, I'm pretty much safe.
Oh,
And
I mean, you
honestly,
probably are.
I feel like even if you like your dryer catches on fire and you are home, you're probably in just as bad of a spot. Because let me tell you, I don't watch my dryer when it's going, and I'm always in the other room.
No, but I feel like you would know a lot faster, and you could actually do something about it. Whereas
Yeah,
if
but
you're not
potentially, it
home-
all depends on how your dryer setup is, though.
Mhm.
Like if it's in like a basement, no, you're golden. You catch a fire in the basement? Don't think so, kid.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But if it's in like a laundry room that's fairly small, it could, relatively contain itself until you could, do something about it and all that jazz.
Yeah.
But practice fire safety, guys. Unless the fire safety is, I don't know, dumb.
Who are we to know if fire safety is or is not dumb?
No, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I got an intuition. I can sense I can sense a reasonable fire safety from a mile away.
You can sense fire hazards.
Not fire hazards, just that the prevention methods are or are not reasonable. Couldn't tell you if a fire is going to start, but I could tell you whether or not you're being reasonable about it.
Fair.
And that is its own superpower. Also, I want to talk about, how a couple episodes ago, like several weeks ago, we talked about hot dog sandwich thing?
Yes.
So, like, literally a week later, I was watching a Good Mythical Morning episode. And apparently their kitchen has a YouTube channel, and they also have a podcast, and the podcast is called A Hot Dog is a Sandwich.
What?
That's very good.
Yeah, I'm not even kidding. Like, that's literally like the weirdest timing in the world.
I don't like that. That's frustrating.
There's
Isn't
a
it?
phrase for that, isn't there? Things that are in like the collective subconscious that like people like it just happens to be that people are thinking about it at the same time for one reason.
Well, I mean,
another.
this isn't like a new thing. Like I've known about the hot dog sandwich for
it's
eons.
definitely not. But the timing of it, like, there's a word for that. I know it's a thing that exists. God,
no
what do I
idea.
even Google for that? How would I even search that?
Doesn't Google?
Word for
I got TikTok.
notice.
So how is TikTok treating you?
I don't really get it per se. Like, it's weird that like you don't choose the things that show up for you. That's like wrong to me. Like, why would I want suggested things at all times? Because like it ends up being like 90% of the videos are just like 19-year-old girls dancing, and then the other half of the videos are rednecks for some reason are like everywhere. Like they're everywhere.
Rednecks really are huge on TikTok.
Yeah, it's insane. And it's just weird because like I don't really care about any of that, and then every once in a while I'll see something funny. But then you follow people, and who you follow doesn't actually affect anything because their videos don't like show up on your feed. They show up on your followers thing, which is separate from your feed and not the default option when you open up the app. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why would I want to see things from people I don't follow or want to see?
I get that. I definitely prefer to stick with like, I feel like it's the big social media issue though, is like, I can't make it sort ever the way that I want it to, Sometimes I just want to see things in the order that they were posted. And
Might I introduce you to Tumblr?
Tumblr?
Yeah.
Well,
Everything's chronologically posted. It's
Tumblr
great.
do be like that.
And only things from people you follow show up.
Incorrect. I have so many things that they're trying to force me to follow, like the Witcher tags. It's really trying to get me to follow
But like,
Witcher
it only
stuff.
shows up in like a little like scroll wheel where like you can like go through like a million different things. But if you just keep going like normal, it's only like a small little blurb. It's like an ad
but
almost.
like, I'm very sick of seeing all these like Geralt X like Jaskier stuff, and I don't want that on my timeline.
Wait, it's showing up though?
Yeah, it won't stop showing up, and it's like I'm not following any of the tags. I made one Witcher related post like 2 months ago, almost 3 months ago, right? And like it won't stop showing up. It only started showing up like 3 weeks ago.
That doesn't make
And
sense.
I know, it's very frustrating to me.
That's super weird, yeah, because I've posted several things, and none of them have ever like come back to haunt me. Believe it or not.
'Tis life,
Right.
I suppose.
Yeah, and everything is like curated in a chronological order, so like it shows up in the order that it was posted. Instead of Twitter, where it's like posted 46 hours ago, posted 10 minutes ago, and you're like, why are those next to each other? And then it also sends you
is that a problem you
notifications
guys have
saying
with Twitter?
things you may like. And you're like, why would you think you know what I would like, Twitter? I only really like follow my friends and people I interact with. Why do you think that this random tweet from John Mayer is going to be something I like? And then I read it and I'm like, this is dumb and I don't like it. Thanks, Twitter.
I feel like my Twitter is usually in a pretty reasonable chronological order.
I'm just glad
like
they got
there's
rid of that what you missed thing that they used to always force you into.
Yeah, that was not great. I thought there was a thing for that. I thought there was like a setting to determine how it would like go.
I don't know.
Whatever.
I don't. And then Facebook's just a nightmare. But the
Well, yeah,
best
you
thing
must never go
about
there, Simbra.
the best thing about Tumblr though is gotta be the ads. The ads make no sense and are so surreal. But like it's almost like the ads themselves are one of the best jokes out there.
Honestly, I am bummed that I see less of the ads than I used to. Although I am realizing, maybe if I pause ad block and refresh my page.
Are you using
Okay, there
your
we go.
desktop for this? I found
There
your
we
problem.
go.
You idiot.
There we go.
Noah.
What?
Noah, please.
Man, I never use Tumblr on my desktop. I was just like, where's my ads at? Because
I
I
will
see
say
them
Tumblr
on
on
my
desktop
phone.
is not great.
No,
It's
it is
weird.
not.
Like that's literally one of the bigger things that's kept me away from Tumblr for so long. Is
But
that
the
I tend
glitches
to
are
browse
so good.
I tend to browse almost all my social media on my desktop.
Like the time when Hihachi took over the entire like side of the screen. You heard that,
What?
right?
No, I got no clue.
So it's basically this dude had like there was a posting glitch. He tried to post an image of like Hihachi. It was like some kind of caption, and for whatever reason, his entire desktop client for like ever was like the entire sidebar of it was just filled with a Hihachi from Tekken, and he couldn't get rid of it, and and so he had to post an ultra wide picture of Kazuya from Tekken to fight the ultra tall Hihachi, and it's the perfect art, like. Or like all the ones like there was one where like someone had posted like some weird nihilistic meme, but it ended up looking like their computer was just crashing on desktop because of like some weird glitch. So it was like this like huge like wall of like black and then the text and then like garbled like jargon, and then all of a sudden it just said like there's like nothing worth saving, and you're like, oh thanks Tumblr for having the weirdest glitches that are almost cool.
That reminds me. Sorry. Speaking of garbled text and black screens, I was playing Control this past week. Have you guys heard of that? It's like
No.
about a year old now, I think.
I don't think I do.
It is. What if you were the closest thing I would compare it to would be like something like SCP, but instead of the things being alive, it's only inanimate objects. And it is an absolute blast. You roll up and you're like, hey, everything is fucked. And they're like, yeah, congratulations. The last guy that was in charge shot himself. You're in charge now. Good luck, kiddo. And you spend the entire game trying to fix all the things. It is an absolute blast. I don't want to spoil it because the game has a ton of really cool stuff going on. But yeah, absolute blast of a game. Very, 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 very cool.
I wish that like I wanted to play or enjoyed more games. Oh,
I feel that.
dropped a bolt. But like I just don't want to play them.
I tend to have phases like that. It's called being depressed for me.
It's just like who I am.
That's fair. Who you am is depressed.
I mean, more technically, like medically speaking, but you know, we get through.
But also, I also, if I may, have a beer corner this week. Except it's a cider corner because that's all I ever drink. Although I do, what was that beer I had the other day? I did have a beer like 2 days ago that was pretty solid. But
Disgusting.
I've got it's from.
Oh, I have a beer corner or a cider corner too.
It's from. I think I was talking to you about it while we were streaming the other day. Actually, it's
Maybe.
Commonwealth ciders, made here in Kensington, Philadelphia. It is
here in
I'm
Kensington.
drinking their raspberry tart, and it's raspberry, and it's got like a little bit of a sourness to it. I'm a huge fan.
What could one call it? A tartness?
No, I'd call it more of a sourness.
So then you're telling me that these people are liars.
Well, they're from Philadelphia, of course. They're liars. But
That's fair.
Yeah, I found it.
Isn't like all Philadelphians is liars.
Sure.
We know this from the 76ers. They told us.
Sure.
That is the NBA team, right?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, I thought it was because I was like that. I was just trying to like rake my mind for like something from Philadelphia that I knew about.
Wait,
That wasn't
I don't think the
cheesesteaks.
are the 76ers in Philly?
I think they are. What else do I?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're
I-
they're Philly basketball.
All right, yeah, I was
Jeez.
racking my mind for a Philadelphia related thing I could bring up.
Definitely thought the 76ers were more westerly. I feel like an
Sorry,
idiot.
what?
Out west, dude. I don't know. I don't freaking know how to say it.
Montana
Westerly.
76ers out of
No,
Billings.
westerly. Watch out for the 76ers. They're coming in on that southwesterly.
It's probably because he's thinking along the line of like the 49ers. Like
that's
the
fair.
minor 49ers.
But I think I just assumed that the 49ers and the 76ers were in relatively the same area.
Well, it's because like the 49ers, that was 1849 when the gold rush took place and everybody wanted to go to gold rush land, and then the 76ers is just because like that's just like the year we declared independence and they're in that area.
Yep, you know what? That makes sense. That is classic, classic New England states.
It's
All
Pennsylvania.
well, yeah, and I was saying New England, and I was thinking, no, not New England, the revolutionary states, all the original
Noah, are
states.
you just bad?
Man, it's been a day, you know.
It's gonna ask him, "Are you bad?" Michael Jackson comes out just like, "Come on, who's bad?"
Yeah. So, did you guys play? This is well after now. Did either of you pick up Animal Crossing?
No.
Really? I'm a little surprised
Yeah.
on both accounts. I would have expected either of
Really?
you to do it. Yeah,
I don't really
it would,
like it that much, and I don't want to spend $60. Like, I'm sure it's fun. I don't like the way it looks.
I can back that. I have my own reasons for not getting it. Mostly because Michelle wouldn't let me. But
Understandable.
Haven't we talked about this before?
did we talk about it on
Like
air?
you and I? I don't think
I
we
know you
have,
and I
but
have.
I have talked about how I don't know why you're surprised I didn't get it because I've talked about how I've never played them before and I have never quite seen the appeal.
No, I don't
I think I
think
told you that.
you might have. It's been but I forget things, as we know.
Fair
I'm
enough.
more of
Fair
a
enough.
Harvest Moon man myself.
What is the difference?
Farm.
So okay, so it's more
Harvest
Stardew
Moon-
than.
I was gonna say Harvest
Yeah,
Moon is
'cause-
very similar to Stardew.
Exactly.
Okay.
Animal Crossing is
I-
not really like a farming game.
It's more like a
really,
city builder.
Yeah, really, it's much more like a town builder and like a village simulation. Like Harvest Moon is just like, I'm planting corn, boys, and that's like
Which-
you can play the entire game just planting corn if you want, and you
Yeah.
should.
You should. If you're playing it any other way, you're doing it wrong. I don't know. I was talking with the Discord about it a little bit. That I'm interested in Animal Crossing as an idea. I just don't. In practice, it just seems not like something I would enjoy.
It's not my
Like, if
kind
I'm-
of simulation. I get like I get the games where they're like, what do you do? Nothing. Like I get those games. Trust me. Like
Mhm.
I've got like 800 hours in Stardew Valley, and like
Yeah.
I played plenty of Harvest Moon games in my day. But like Animal Crossing, I just want my character to have hands. It's just weird, and I think it's ugly.
That's fair.
Like the villagers are kind of cute, but like only some of them, and like you can't really control which ones you get, and then they'll leave, and like
they don't have
I
to
don't know.
leave.
but don't
Nothing
they like,
left
leave
if
them
they were
random?
pissed at you.
I guess you can schmooze them into staying forever.
I mean,
But-
that's how relationships work,
No,
right? No. Oh
No.
but that's like the Stardew, where it's kind of like you have like a cast of villagers to like make the
Mhm.
best of it, because like
Yeah.
See, I don't, and I'm not a huge Stardew person, kind of for that exact reason that I
love
don't
it.
love games where the purpose is not like there's no.
It's like Minecraft. You just do what you
but,
want.
but the difference is I like Minecraft, and I don't know why I don't like Stardew as much.
That actually does surprise me.
Do you
I feel
want to
like,
farm?
I feel like
Not really.
Stardew
that's your problem.
kind of.
That's fair.
What about you,
fits, I don't
Noah?
know.
Do you want to farm?
I do enjoy Stardew type
I
games.
love me some
I used to
farming.
play a lot of. My sister had a Harvest Moon.
Yeah, they're fun.
Played that a lot. It was a good time.
I honestly, that's the thing. The Harvest Moons, like they were all like pretty solid games, but Stardew Valley just came out and like was just like, hey, what if we made a better Harvest Moon for half the price of a new Harvest Moon game? And you're like, you got me there.
Fascinating.
Oh, actually, that also reminds me. I used to think Harvest Moon and Sailor Moon were connected because
That
they
would be
both
so
had
great.
moon in the title.
That'd be really great if that happened.
I was confused to learn
Wait.
that they were not the same.
Wait till you hear about this thing that we have called the Moon.
Holy shit!
Baby steps, Dan. Baby steps. You're scaring him.
Turns out that they're all connected to Dead Space, where the moon is the villain. Spoilers,
Turns
I
out
guess,
they're all
for
really connected
last
to
Dead
Legend
Space.
of Zelda.
It wasn't the moon that was a villain. They just called the final, like the final form of the marker was called like a brother moon or whatever.
Yeah, but it was.
It wasn't-
It took over an entire moon. It was a moon at the end.
Yeah, but that's. I don't think it. I mean, it just like inhabited a moon, but they already called
They'll
them
circle
moons
back
anyway.
to
So it's just
circle
like
back to Star Wars, where they're like, "That's no moon."
what?
So then it all circles back to Star Wars, where they're like, "That's no moon."
Yeah, but like,
Do it all circle back to
what's
Star
no
Wars?
moon? Was
Is
there
that
a moon creature
more
in Star
unreasonable
Wars?
than it all circling back to
Wait, is there a moon
Dead
creature in
Space?
Star Wars?
there? 1000% are. I'm like 99% sure there used to be a Jedi that was just a planet. Like the same way that like the Green Lantern had one that was just a planet. I'm
Oh,
pretty
boy, I
sure.
hate.
There's no.
Star
Please tell me
Wars.
that's a joke.
I'm like 99% sure. Let's Google it. Star Wars
But you know what I also
planet.
Just as much
Jedi.
as I hate Star Wars,
Mhm.
comic books. I don't get them.
What's wrong with comic books?
Here's the thing. I don't get them. They're not long enough. They don't tell enough of a story. Half the time, people will just be like cross-eyed in them.
I mean,
like the artists just were like, I get it. They're on a tight schedule, and I'm not saying that makes it so like I understand that, but that doesn't mean I have to like that. So like I feel like a lot of times they look almost rushed for some reason, and then you'll read like a 10 comic story and be like, I gained nothing. There was no story told other than in like the 10 blurbs of dialogue that were actually given to me throughout that. I read a comic story recently. Like it was a 6 comic series. It was Deceased. It was like DC Zombies. My friend basically bugged me into reading it.
Oh yeah, they have kind of like Marvel Zombies, but DC.
Yeah.
I think it's slightly different because basically, it's because you'll be on that phone.
Wow,
as
I hate
in
that.
you get the infection if you look at your phone.
Fun.
Because it's like Cyborg spreads it technically, so it's kind of like, or like he's like the patient zero. So like
because he is a phone.
Yeah.
Is it because he always do be that phone?
Because you do be that phone. But no, like I read it. It was 6 comics, right? And like there was at least like a sentence of like descriptor in every panel. So like which is pretty narrative heavy, honestly. And that's at least. That means like even in like the bigger, like more showy ones, there was still a descriptor going on, and in many of them there were like straight paragraphs. But like I just feel like at the end of it, I was just like, there was no time for anything to happen because like you only have so many frames, and each comic is only like 25, 30 pages long, and you can read that in less than 10 minutes.
I suppose that's true.
So it took me less than an hour, probably about 45 minutes to read all 6 comics.
Yeah.
And look at them as well, and then I was done, and I was like, yeah, I get it. I'm over it though.
I don't know. I like
and that's
comics
my general
because
experience.
Sometimes I want to read a book where I think of everything, and other times I just want to appreciate what other people have already imagined for me. And a comic just fits the role of like a dumb little story that I get to enjoy. Like it fits that perfect for me, you know?
My problem with them is that they don't last long enough for me to get any enjoyment out of it. Like I just burn through them too fast. So like a physical copy of it is to me like insane because I'm just gonna be done with it in 2 minutes, and then it's gonna be like permanently burned into my brain. So like I've got it. Like I don't need to look back. And then I don't know, or feel like what do I do with it now? Put it on a shelf.
Mean, my memory is just god awful about a lot of things. So I do enjoy rereading frivolous things like that I just kind of enjoy. I don't know. I like it.
How do you think about webcomics, Jackson?
Don't like them on the principle of most of them that I've had interactions with are a little bit cringy, but I feel like there's probably some good ones somewhere.
That's fair.
Also, I think that's an incredibly reasonable stance to take on webcomics.
No. Yeah, I agree. I would actually fully agree. I mean, I like them in theory, but that would be the only disagreement I have.
Yeah, I mean, when the most famous of your genre is Homestuck, it's kind of like,
I won't lie. That does make it frustrating.
Yeah. I honestly, when I'm thinking like, oh yeah, comics that I've read,
do you think
genuinely forgot Homestuck existed for a second.
Did you read Homestuck?
Yeah, I did. Full, not entirely, but most of it. We've talked about this before.
There's like Gemini people.
Yeah, like 3/4 of it, somewhere in there, 2/3, something like that.
Some people just have zodiac signs.
I think that Homestuck actually isn't a terrible idea, right? I think there are some major things that are horribly, horribly wrong with it, and because of that, the rest of it was garbage. But like as a core idea, I definitely didn't hate it. The basic idea is
it?
Game show up at your house that you were excited for, but what if game affect real life? Basically,
I'm out.
So I think the biggest issue in that concept is the fact that, but what if game affect real life occurred and it didn't surprise anybody?
I felt like that was more of like the weird, exaggerated, not realism part of the story. Like the story isn't supposed to be even close to like a realistic portrayal or anything like that. Like the characters are ridiculous and all that. And I feel like the video game and real life lines blur intentionally, even from like the moment of go. Like the first second is like, oh, type in your character's name, and then the comic is like, no, LOL, it's not the character's name because it's.
I'm not gonna lie, I did not know that it was about video games at all until right now.
That's because as soon as it got to like the halfway point.
Is the halfway point where they changed the troll storyline?
I think so, yeah. So
well, in that case,
think of that.
So they're trolling?
I read half of it.
Yeah, the trolls are terrible. The trolls are just terrible.
It was,
I mean,
in my opinion, without a doubt, the worst part of the story was as soon as the trolls were introduced. as
what do they do?
core-
They use like the troll face and stuff. Like, what do they do?
Well, yeah, they do. Yes, that's
I mean,
the
I
whole
would
shtick.
assume, and they just like what are
Well,
they, like,
the
just,
idea
like,
is that
are
they
mean to people
are
in the game or
different
something?
players. No, they're different players. So like the idea is that God, I hate that we should get who's our friend that actually was it Edge that read through it? Somebody, one of
Sure.
our other friends read through it. If not, she's gonna yell at me about it because I feel like
The Edge is my enemy, so don't say our friend.
But the idea was that the trolls are playing the game, but on their own like planet / reality or whatever.
Planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trolls
dude,
exist on an entirely different like
Hold up,
spectrum.
wait.
they're
So,
not
like,
just they're literally our trolls. Like that's literally their race.
they're not like trolls. Like they're being jokesters online.
They are both. Oh, they are both. I'm
Yeah.
not going to sit here and pretend
So
that
are you
Homestuck
telling
is
me that the
good. I
person
just
who
think it
wrote
has
this
some
was
neat
like,
ideas.
what if those online jokesters were their own race of people?
Yes.
No, because it
Hmm.
really doesn't even to me it doesn't do anything like that. It's more of like they needed an antagonistic group that
They're
you
bad
could
guys.
also. Yeah, they're definitely the bad guys. Well, they're the bad
They
guys
are
at
the
first.
less good guys.
Yeah, they're the less good guys. There is distinct bad guys.
Yeah, the distinct bad guys are like actual monsters.
They're pretty cool. I actually loved all the bad guy designs.
Do
were
they
fun.
fight them?
Sort of. Yes.
Sometimes.
In the later stuff. Sometimes. And
I don't
sometimes
know.
it's more of like
if memory serves, isn't the moral of Homestuck that they couldn't fight any of the ones that actually mattered?
I think the moral of those, I think so. Maybe it's been a long time. I haven't read it in years.
Homestuck's freaking stupid.
Oh, it's very stupid. I enjoy it.
It's one of
I think
those
there are
like
parts of
if
it to
people
enjoy.
liked it, that's fine because I legitimately enjoyed the first like chunk of the story when you met like the first two main characters. I really
widespread
liked
is this stuff? I
Very.
didn't think anyone knew what Homestuck was except for like
internet people.
weird 14-year-olds.
No. Well, to be fair, when it was really popular, I was a weird 14-year-old.
Okay, that makes sense. I
Like, I
just
became
didn't
aware of
expect
it
things
when I
like
was-
it to
oh,
be
geez,
known
I
by
don't know.
people. I thought it was like
Yeah,
a
there's a
meme
game.
property.
There's a game, like an actual like real game.
It actually looks
Uh,
good too. Well,
I heard
not
it's
like
not
good.
bad,
It
yeah.
looks. It looks like the game, but better. Unlike a lot of like comic inspired games that end up just like looking really, really bad. It actually maintains
This
a lot
guy
of the
said
aesthetic and art
Spider-Man on
style.
the PS4 looks really, really bad.
Yeah,
and
that
if-
was what I was thinking of too. It was like, man, Spider-Man on the PS4, like unironically, probably one of the worst games ever to be put out. I think we can all agree.
I agree.
Yep.
I have no strong feelings for those.
That's the thing. I don't like superheroes or comic books or care
Wait,
about
wait.
superheroes or comic books, but something about Spider-Man, I tell you what.
Yeah, well, the worst. Spider-Man?
No,
Super unrealistic.
Spider-Man is like the only superhero that I like, and it's
You know
not
why
like
that
that
is?
much. I know exactly why it is. It's because Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 is one of the greatest films ever made.
Can I get
Okay,
an
fair.
amen?
I'm not even
Oh,
kidding.
no.
Like,
Oh my
if I hadn't
gosh.
seen Spider-Man 2 when I was like 10, I would not like any superheroes. But as it is,
Okay.
I like Spider-Man because Sam
So-
Raimi saved him.
That reminds me.
Just like he saved those people on the train.
Very important thing here. So, you remember that tweet that Jeff posted the other day that you said, I don't know if you're like,
Tyler Durden situation.
yeah. So one of the accounts that liked his thing, initially he's like, where is it? Oh no, it's gone. It's gone. I can't see it. Uh-oh. Okay. So I'm going
Wake
to have
up,
to try
Noah.
and I'm going to have to try and like fake this.
So you make this.
What is that movie called? Dark Man?
Yeah, you lost me.
All right. Dark Man, Sam Raimi's superhero movie starring Liam Neeson. It was not
It's not good.
amazing. It gets a 6.4 on IMDb, 84
Yeah, so
on
it was-
Rotten Tomatoes, 65 Metacritic. It's not
When Noah
the
says
best
a
regarded
movie
movie.
was not amazing, just assume
I
that
have not
movie
seen
is
it. I have never
impossible
seen
to
it.
watch through.
I've never seen it. But apparently the account that ended up liking his tweet he's like, "Oh yeah, I just thought it was like a Dark Man fan account." But then he looked into it a little closer
Was
and it
like the
turns
promotional
out
account?
that they are posting every single frame of Dark Man every half hour on the half hour 24/7
The fuck?
until they get through the entire movie, and they number each clip that they post or each frame so that you know like where in the movie you're at, and they put a little like text blurb of the dialogue.
That's weird.
So you're telling me I could watch Darkman on Twitter with my arrow keys?
Yes,
Nice.
if you're fast enough.
Gotta
I
go.
think
24
that's
tabs per second.
amazing. Personally,
I think that's weird and feels like some kind of like unholy thing. Like I
No,
don't like that.
No. What it feels like to me is a weird art project.
I'll take that. I'll accept that. But also I would stand by, a weird unholy thing.
I mean, I'll accept that too. There's a lot of weird things on the internet, Dan. I feel like you of all people should know that.
I've been on the internet a long time. I've seen things your kind wouldn't believe.
I don't think that's true. But anyway. Yeah.
Things glittering off the Tannhauser gate.
We all
What?
saw the Pain Olympics.
I fucking love that movie, dude. I fucking
What?
love the monologue in the first blanking on the name. The fucking Decker. What the fuck is the name of the movie? Hadn't just a recent one, 2049.
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner, thank you. I could not think of the name of it for a minute. That was painful.
You know, the outfit that you wanted to wear when it turns out it's literally just a trench coat and you were trying to make it into a big thing.
Yeah. I know what I'm about, son.
Yeah, we all do too. It's trench coats.
It's trench coats. It's trench coats all the way down.
But anyway,
to wear
yeah.
a trench coat in public.
I don't know. That's
There's
Twitter
fidelity.
accounts like that are some of my favorite things though. Because there's a Facebook page that is allegedly posting its way like through every single SpongeBob episode,
Yeah.
frame by frame. And I mean, I don't know if that's like true because it seems like it kind of posts frames willy-nilly however it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
But I really enjoy weird little things like that. Like somebody got bored and was just like, you know what I'm gonna do? Take every individual frame from this stupid movie and I'm gonna post them on Twitter. And that's it.
Well, a bot did that. But yes.
But someone made that
somebody
bot.
programmed
Yes.
that bot. Somebody acquired all the frames and then set up a bot to post that.
Or what if someone manually scheduled all of the tweets?
Well,
that's
that
the
would be
thing.
insane.
Well, that's the thing, because this account has like blurbs from each picture. So even if he didn't manually schedule all the tweets, he did have to go through and, tag every image with different things so that the thing would know how to post it, right? Like, so it would know what to say.
Yeah.
Every image is tagged in a certain way.
That's insane.
Even if you can tag 500 images exactly the same with just a different like frame number, come on, that's still crazy.
Yeah.
Sometimes
People
I
be
do
crazy.
read the Bubble Wubba Twitter, and I'm like, is this my Twitter? 'Cause I'm
It's
just like,
it's
I
a
just feel
weird
like
place.
we're on the same wavelength, Like
It's
we're just in the same headspace.
It is a little uncomfortable, not gonna lie.
It's a good thing though,
That's it.
for me.
Yeah,
And
why
for
not?
Bubba Wubba. For the rest of you peons, perhaps not. But so Noah, how was your journey?
Oh yeah. Well, my journey was pretty good. When we were in Washington, there wasn't a lot of like fun hanging around we got to do.
Mhm.
But one of the things that
Straight to work.
well, we had to close out some bank accounts. We had to like teach me how to drive stick. There were some things that eventually like all got wrapped up. But one of the things we did was we visited a cidery. Is that
Sure.
what we call them? A
I'm sure
cidery.
it'd just be a
Cider House.
Whatever.
Was it Reverend
Yes.
Nat's? That's in that area.
It was not. It was Locust. Locust is a Texas cider place. However, they do have a couple of places up in Seattle. And I got this plum rosemary, or rosemary plum, I guess is the actual order they put it in. Rosemary plum cider. And good Lord, that's good. It was
It does
really,
sound really
really,
good.
really good.
It does sound really good.
Oh yeah. I ended up bringing some back so I could like make my brother try it.
How
So
kind
I
of
actually
you.
got to have it again today. Man. Firstly,
Still really good.
yeah, still really good. Secondly, I don't know how many places actually do this. I'm sure more places than I realize do it. But you know what a growler is, right?
Yeah.
All right, so these guys also do crowlers, which is a can. It's just like big 32-ounce can, and it solves your growler problem of everything goes flat by sealing it in a can. It's fantastic. Keeps it fizzy for like 2 weeks rather than like a growler, which is like, I don't know, 4 days.
Couple days.
Yeah. Man, nice place. Highly recommend it. It's in Woodinville. Check it out. Go there if you are of cidering age.
I don't like cider.
You don't?
I don't get it.
Really? Why?
I don't know. I just don't like it. It's like IPAs. Like I don't know why. I taste it and I'm like, no like.
Well, I mean, I get IPAs. I also don't much care for IPAs. I don't want to drink something that's just like, so we took your bitter drink and we made it more bitter. How do you feel about that, kid? You know?
Is that how you feel like they talk?
IPA people are going to tie you to a railroad
Is that not
train.
how an IPA talks?
Yes, that is how the IPA talks.
Are you trying to tell me that IPAs don't talk like that?
IPA people
that is, I think, what I'm trying to tell you. Yes.
Weird. I always hear them talking like that. But, maybe, everyone has their own experiences.
Everyone has their own IPA.
What does a double IPA sound like?
An IPA with 2 times as much IPA in it.
It's an IPA
double
with
IPA.
It's an IPA in reverb.
What's it sound
like?
So
if an IPA sounds like this and it adds double the bitterness to your bitter beverage, then a double IPA probably sounds like this, and it's just even more over the top.
I love this.
This is the worst timeline.
This is the worst timeline, but it's the best time for your double IPA.
Hey, double IPA. What kind of beer am I? What kind of beer talks like this?
It's a stout.
Hey, forget about it. Let's go
I
Mets,
don't think
baby.
that's a stout, dude.
I love the Mets.
I know what I said.
No, that's
I know beers.
Oh shoot, what makes me? I can't think of any beers that make me think of New York.
The Mets. Love
I guess
'em.
Bud Light. Maybe
come on.
maybe Bud Heavy.
Or Budweiser.
Hey, it's I'm drinking here.
He's done it. He has done it. They said it couldn't be done, but he's done it.
The absolute madman.
Can anyone tell I ran out of joke in the middle of that joke? I don't think anyone can.
I had no idea. Just roll with it.
It's yes and.
Hey, bada bing, bada boom.
Maybe I shouldn't have told him to roll with it. I don't know.
I don't think Noah's even seen New York.
Is it the critical height of your adventure?
No. A lot of things ended up happening. My personal favorite was driving through these vast stretches of roads, because I did learn how to drive stick. I don't know that I would be comfortable driving in a city, and by I don't know if I would, I mean I distinctly would not be.
Coward.
However, I really did enjoy driving on the highway.
Well, that's good.
But there were these huge, vast stretches of road that were nothing.
How fast did you go?
I think I topped out at 85.
Got a couple of cowards here.
Well, I might have hit 90. I didn't feel super comfortable hitting 90 too often, just because I wasn't sure how fast the car could go, just because of where I shifted into fifth. I'm like, well, if this is where I shifted into fifth, clearly I can't go that much faster than that.
Smash cut, then Noah went faster.
Oh, I mean, like, I definitely could have. If the roads were all dry and had no ice at all, I probably would have been driving faster, but...
Would you have been driving more furious?
Actually, I mean, I had a great time with the driving. I had no furious driving going on.
No. We should see
that feels like
Fast and
Nina
Furious
is,
9.
I feel like the second half of that sentence is Nina, on the other hand.
I'm not trying to call anyone else out for being an angry driver.
Could be anybody.
It could be anyone. Of all the people I drove with,
it could even be you, listener.
It could be you, listener. But yeah, no, it was actually really neat.
Vin Diesel is listening right now.
Has nothing in it at all, except for Mount Rushmore. Oh no! You know what South Dakota has?
Mount Rushmore.
A town called Wall.
Nobody tell Pink Floyd.
Now here's the thing, though. They have the town Wall is a tourist trap. The tourist trap is literally built around one gigantic building called Waldrug. Now, one would think Waldrug would be like a Rite Aid kind of place for the town of Wall, right? Like, it's just, that would be it.
Is it like the super farm? Is it like a huge thing, right?
Yeah.
How do I know about this?
I don't know.
Why do I know about that?
No, that's the thing. So you go there after 30 miles of signs advertising Waldrug. It's like a picture of a boot, and it just says boots, Waldrug, and 5-cent coffee, Waldrug. Like a bunch of tiny little signs. Yeah, 5-cent coffee. A picture of a velociraptor saying they're waiting, Waldrug. I'm not kidding.
Wild.
It was very, very surreal. And we finally get there. And when we get there, I mean, obviously we are going to go, like, we're going to go in, right?
Of course.
You walk around and it was really empty. There weren't a lot of employees there. And it really, really felt like This, you know that island in the Iliad where Odysseus and his crew eat those like
Lotus
flowers,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone forgets what they're doing.
Yeah.
So that's what Waldrug felt like. It felt like if we told anyone our real name or anything like that, we would never be allowed to leave or something weird, you know?
Again, there's a word for that too. In the say, like it's used in like such and such Gothic bits.
Oh yeah,
places in between places. What's the thing for it?
I don't know what the places in between places Gothic mood is.
Edge would know.
Why
is she not here? She should have been here for this whole episode. We fucked up.
Us referencing things she is an authority on.
Where is she? Hold
incorrectly. But yeah, no, we walked around. There were some other people there. There was like overpriced like snacks. There was like clothing and I don't
Did you get
know,
any 5-cent
like,
coffee?
all kinds of. No, I didn't know where to find the 5-cent coffee. I did find the $10 fudge
Did you
things
get
like
it?
that. No, I didn't get that either. It was I was just weird, man. And honestly,
that does sound very, very surreal and a little uncomfortable.
No, the weirdest thing was after we left, like we're 10 minutes down the road, and we started being like, we saw some signs for the other way, and we're like, oh, are those Waldrug signs? And they weren't Waldrug signs. They were just regular signs or signs that were up for sale. Right? So we're like, okay, well, maybe the other side doesn't have Waldrug advertisement. I guess that's weird, but okay. And then another 15 minutes later, we were having issues remembering. Like, this was a punchline to jokes because we drove past Waldrug signs for 45 minutes. I'm not even kidding you. 45 minutes at 80 miles an hour is a lot of distance to drive past Waldrug signs. We could not remember the name Waldrug at one point for just a hot second, and it was very, 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 very weird, and almost like it was like being wiped from our mind now that we were gone.
That's wild.
I don't know why I know about Waldrug though. I feel like it's featured on something that I've seen or been like referenced, or like I've seen images of it in some way. But I don't know why I know about it. Maybe I went to Waldrug years ago and I've forgotten myself.
Let's see. I googled Waldrug, and people ask, what is Waldrug famous for? Waldrug store, often simply called Waldrug, is a tourist attraction located in the town of Wall, South Dakota. Cowboy-themed shopping mall consisting of a drugstore, gift shop, restaurants.
Liminal.
That might have been across.
That's the word.
Liminal. That was it. A liminal space.
It's a liminal space. God, I had to go to Nina for it, and she didn't know shit.
Across the street from Waldrug was this place called, like, it was a castle called Gold Diggers. And what Gold Diggers was like a gold purchasing place. But if you just look at it, it looks like a strip club.
And it may have been. And
I don't know.
In South Dakota, most of their buildings had to be multi-purposed.
Honestly, it was so weird. I didn't know. I don't know. Like, thinking about it is weird. Like, remembering it doesn't feel right. Like, I feel like I'm not supposed to remember it.
Yeah, liminal. You were in a place where the edge of what was and what wasn't. Yeah, it was the edge of what was and what wasn't was very blurred. And
I didn't like it one bit.
Yeah, you shouldn't. It's not a place you're supposed to enjoy being.
You were in Waldrug.
You were all Waldrug now.
Almost bought some stuff because I wanted, like, there was a rock shop and my boss likes some stuff like that.
Your boss likes rocks.
Well, he likes arrowheads. They had arrowheads for sale.
They had rocks there. My boss likes that kind of stuff.
Fucking Jackson and I both on him in an instant. Your boss likes rocks.
He's a rock boy. Bit of a rock
He's
hound.
a little rock boy.
Anyway.
Little baby idiot rock boy.
You know, like... But you know, people who get their hair cut at my shop do listen to this. You know that.
What is this? Some kind of rock boy?
Y'all are gonna get me in trouble with
some kind of suicide.
I never
rock?
said that.
I can't believe Noah said his boss is big baby idiot rock boy. TM. He even trademarked it. This guy made rock boy his intellectual property just so he can make fun of his boss.
Do that.
Hashtag
did do
rock
that.
boy.
Rock Boy and Lava Girl.
Ooh.
And Lava Girl.
That's that sequel that nobody ever got made.
Yeah, that sounds better. Is that when like
Little rock boy.
My
don't
friend tanned Robert Rodriguez the other day.
he what?
My friend tanned Robert Rodriguez the other day,
Okay,
like at a tanning center.
interesting.
You just reminded me because you said my friend. Did we talk about the butthole cut
Of cats? No.
of cats?
Is it real or is it just like a rumor? Because everything I've heard
want
about
it
it
to
is
be
just a
real.
rumor.
I want it to be real so bad.
Everyone's
That's the funniest fucking shit.
Everyone's like, I overheard that there was a PA hired exclusively to remove CG buttholes in cats.
Well, yeah, that's where it was. The guy was like the guy's friend was a video producer who worked on cats. And his whole job was to remove CGI buttholes that were added months prior.
But like, do we know that's true?
No. There's no way they will. The studio will never confirm that is true.
I also don't think they would have done that. You know
Dude,
what?
that movie was that movie got made.
Yeah, but
It
like,
did
I
get
just
made.
feel like I don't know.
That
Beats
movie
me.
does exist, and I think that it existing is proof enough to me that like they didn't know what they were doing and they would have done anything.
I want to watch it again.
I still haven't seen it. I need to get around to it.
I'll tell you what, Dan. You
Not
come out
good?
here. I'll rent it, and all of us can watch it together.
I don't want to come out there.
It'll be great. Think of all the fun.
You know how we were talking about liminal spaces? I'm convinced that a good portion of Erie is a liminal space.
I'm convinced that
It
liminal
just
spaces
makes
aren't
me
real.
vaguely uncomfortable. I don't like remembering that it exists. Not all of it. I'm not trying to say all of it. I just think there are definite like huge like a lot of like the rundown portion of Erie feels that way to me.
I do not agree, only because I've never gotten that vibe here.
Okay, that's fair.
It never gives me the same kind of vibes that Waldrug did.
I just
Didn't give you those
Waldrug
forbidden
made
vibes.
me unhappy.
I'm not
Yeah.
sold on this liminal space thing.
Have you not heard of this?
No, but you're telling me there's just like places that give you weird vibes.
The idea. So I have a thing on it on BetterHelp.com apparently. So ideas being hotel like samples of them would be like
Hotel California.
hotel hallways late at night,
Hotel
empty
Transylvania.
schools during breaks, empty parking lots, certain sections of like the lighting section of
Yeah,
hardware stores.
like churches in the dark.
Ooh,
Churches in the
lighting
dark,
sections
exactly.
of hardware stores. That's a
That's
Ooh.
very specific, but very on brand. They
Yeah,
got
no,
it. They nailed it.
I don't think those are uncomfortable forbidden locations, but I also do not think that I'm supposed to be there.
Exactly.
Yeah. So like you're telling me
it's
it's just
not
like
It doesn't
when you're
give the
places that are
same
normally
feeling.
people, but people aren't there.
Maybe it's just because Waldrug was such a powerful area that
And it was
no
empty.
other liminal space will ever feel the same. It wasn't so. Oh, that was one of the things I was going to say. There were there was some stuff we were looking to maybe pick up, but half of the stores didn't have any employees.
Yeah, that is for some forbidden shit. See, and like empty, I would add like empty
An empty 7-Eleven.
an empty 7-Eleven. Like places that feel like they should have people and for some reason don't. Is kind of how I would describe a lot of them.
Are you trying to say the entirety of southern Montana and South Dakota? Because
Mine's
that
gonna
was
just
how
hit
I felt
Billings like that,
driving
huh?
through all those areas.
Sure.
I'm gonna be honest. Billings was probably the worst stop of our trip, and that's because we stopped at a Motel 6.
In
Everywhere
Billings,
else-
It's a little
Montana.
bit on you, fam. I don't want to point fingers or
I
anything.
think
but
the
that-
Motel 6 in Billings, Montana might not be the best place in Billings, Montana. If you're in
Yeah.
I would agree.
Do you take constructive criticism?
Well, every other hotel was twice as much. They didn't have another reasonably priced hotel, so we didn't go anywhere else.
I like places that are gross. I've come to terms with the fact that I'm perhaps just a gross boy myself.
I could have told you that.
Cause but there are limits. There is a right kind of gross and a wrong kind of
Oh
gross.
yeah, of course.
And a Motel 6 is the wrong kind of gross. I think we can agree on that.
I have spent more nights than I would
think
care
it's
to
the
admit
right
inside
kind
of
of
a
gross.
I've spent more nights than I care to admit in different Motel 6s around the country. No. 0 to 10 would not do again.
Yeah,
I mean,
we did a
I don't
Super
mind
8
it.
for every other hotel we stopped at, and that was almost exactly the same as Motel 6, but it was just like everything was nicer, and it only cost me an extra $5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
usually I'm asleep in the front of the Walmart parking lot when I'm driving kind of guy.
I respect that.
I've never bought a hotel when I was driving before.
If we could have reclined our seats, I would not have been against that, but we could not
But-
recline our seats
Yeah.
because that car was pretty packed up.
Smacked.
Oh, what was it
Pack-schmacked.
though? when we stopped in South Dakota, what do you call? Our hotel was dead empty except for like 2 other people, and I'm pretty sure they upgraded us to a suite because they didn't
Literally
care.
There's nobody there.
Yeah, pretty much, because like we were out here and it was just like, hey, yeah, we need a room, and he's like, all right, here, and it was a room like Jackson, you know how big my living room is, roundabout.
Yeah.
So like there was almost as big as my living room was just wasted empty floor space in the room.
That's weird.
Yeah, there was just that much empty like central floor space between
I'm gonna make a wild claim. Nobody should ever go to the Midwest.
Why?
Montana is not the Midwest.
What's
Really?
wrong with the
I feel
Midwest?
like
Montana
it's the
literally
Midwest.
borders Canada and is like at its most western point, 200 miles from the Pacific Ocean.
Really? I'm sorry. I thought it was.
It's
much
incredibly
further
north.
east.
It literally like borders Canada for like 500
Yeah,
miles or some
Yeah,
ridiculous
there's
amount.
like an hour of driving between
Montana is distinct. What is Montana? The just the West?
Yeah. It's like the
Okay.
Rockies, the Rocky Mountains is what I'd call it. Midwest
like,
is like
there's the
Ohio,
West,
Indiana.
and then Ohio
thought-
over is Midwest, and then there's the South and the Southwest.
See, I think of the
and then the
Midwest
East
being like
Coast.
Montana. I think of
No,
the
that's
Midwest being
west.
Montana down to Colorado,
You think
across to
Colorado's
like
the Midwest?
across to like Ohio, and then up and over. Is how I mentally think of it. Like I don't think of Utah or Idaho as the Midwest. Those are just the West.
No, Montana, Colorado, Wyoming, the Dakotas are west to me. Midwest is like Indiana,
Interesting.
Ohio, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Missouri.
Ironically.
It's middle.
Yeah. That to me, all of that is like the same. Like they're all middle.
Let's see.
Yeah,
What
I
is
get
the
it.
Midwestern United States here?
I
Yeah, let's give some
actually, I
definition.
was very
Oh, so
confused
the Dakotas
the other
are
day.
Midwest. So the Dakotas, Nebraska, Missouri, Iowa, Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin, Indiana,
It's one of 4
Illinois,
census
Ohio.
regions. Wow, the West is massive. I did not realize that it was that. Like that's where the line was.
Oh, Kansas too. I miss Kansas.
Yeah, no, the
Interesting.
Midwest starts as soon as the East ends.
Well,
It's
yeah,
really
I knew
weird.
that.
Oh
And,
yeah, no.
well, I was
Wyoming,
very
Colorado,
confused 'cause,
Utah. They're west.
I was listening to a podcast and they were breaking down. It was like horror movie characters as presidential candidates. It was very, very good episode.
That's very funny.
But they were trying to break down where people like were from, and one of the things that was mentioned was is Pennsylvania Midwest? And I'm like, absolutely, we are
No.
not Midwest.
No, never.
Well, that's the
The
thing,
western side
though.
of PA is a little bit though.
Well, that's
The
the
western
thing.
side of PA.
They were talking about it, and I'm like, absolutely, we are not. And then they're just like, oh, I don't really know. And I'm like, no.
No, the
we're
border
not."
makes a world of difference. You cross the border into Ohio, and you tell me that there's not a difference.
Dude, I've been to Ohio more than a couple of times, and I make a wild claim. I think that there are parts of either you have to be like there are parts of Eastern Ohio that are not Midwest, or you have to accept that parts of Western PA are definitely Midwest.
I mean, there are probably Midwestern people in Western PA, but like that state line is where the Midwest begins. Because people literally have Midwest accents in Ohio, and it blows my mind.
What does a Midwest accent sound like?
Didn't see you there. Oh, sorry about that, partner. You know, it's just like, oh, sorry,
I've-
buddy.
I've had people like that in PA. I've had people like that in Philadelphia, so I don't think that counts.
I mean, you can have a Midwest accent and be in not the Midwest.
Well, yeah, that's my point. There.
But like, I feel like it's a big indicator when you are in the Midwest and people have Midwest accents, and then you leave and cross the border back to PA and people don't at all have Midwest accents.
Listen,
Kind of like
I'm
how you
willing
go
to
into West
accept it.
Virginia and people just have like deep Southern accents in West Virginia, and then it's technically it's a Southern region though. It's a Southern state.
It is a southern region. I agree with you. That's totally fair. Same with like parts of Virginia, but like it
The
bothers me
accents
that
tell.
technically the DC counts as part of the South because to me it is such its own beast.
I mean, that's like its whole thing is that it's not really like part of any census region. I mean, it's part of the Southern census region, but like it's not actually like it's an independent territory in terms of like polling and all that because it's the capital of the nation. So socially, like on a sociological level, it is in a different state than what it surrounds it because it's not,
Mm-hmm.
Virginia
That's
or
fair.
Maryland.
That's super fair.
But yeah, no, Ohio is definitely where the Midwest starts.
Whack.
And then the Dakotas are the westernmost part of the Midwest. So like, yeah, Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, those are all west with the rest of them.
With all the west of them, if you will.
Yeah, like Nevada, California, Oregon, Washington.
Yeah, all
Them.
those are definitely definitively west. Yeah.
Them's all west.
Weird,
Oh,
right?
What a
Weird.
day this is.
What a
I never
weird
think
life we
about
all live.
this.
Really?
No, I love this stuff. This kind
I
of stuff
think-
is so fascinating to me.
I know a lot about geography, at least regional geography.
And the way you split up, we'll specifically keep on the states. It's really fascinating because there are so many different lines that don't really make sense, and others that are like, oh wait, so that's why this is the way it is, kind of thing.
I like how there used to be an awful lot of laws from states that just hated each other.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just like, you know what? I hate Virginia. So now Virginia has to pay extra taxes on my Idaho like products. How do you feel about that? And
Yeah, and I like that over
the
time
government
these-
had to pass laws to be like, hey, you can't target the other states like this.
But you
It's-
should.
It's not okay. And everyone else is like, but why? Why
what
should
if we
I
did
not?
anyway? But hear me out. They shouldn't be terrible.
Virginia?
I mean, other states in
Oh,
this
okay, I was
metaphor,
like-
but
I mean, I got nothing against Virginia.
What about West
I
Virginia?
don't yet, but I could.
West Virginia, a lot against West Virginia.
you don't like their Blue Ridge Mountains?
They don't really have the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Mm.
They technically cross through Virginia or West Virginia, but those are more of a Virginia thing.
I would say that's Western Virginia. That's the big controversy of
Of that
Take
song.
Me Home Country Roads is
It's more Western Virginia, not West Virginia. I'd forgotten about that.
one of my favorite things that I've ever heard.
It is very it is very good. Just objectively very good.
I mean, but you think John Denver was going to West Virginia? I would hope not. I
feel
respect
like
John Denver and I
probably.
like his music, and I don't think he went to West Virginia.
I don't want to believe that he went to West Virginia like some sort of communist.
No, that's a good thing.
I would argue that West Virginia would take great issue with you calling anything about West Virginia some form of
I
communism.
also take issue with
Good.
that.
Let them. Fucking let them. What are they going to do? They're from
Shoot
West
you or
Virginia.
something. I don't know.
Good. Do it. You said it like it's a bad thing.
I'd rather that you didn't die.
Bold claim.
I would rather not have to replace you.
Aw. He really did miss us.
I don't know why you didn't believe me when I said it. I did miss you
I just
guys.
assume that you always are lying to me.
Why would I lie about that?
Oh. Make me
I
feel
mean,
better.
like, full disclosure to everyone listening, it has been 3 weeks since we recorded because with me being out of town, we could not record and render all of our stuff.
Mhm.
So what we ended up doing was we recorded all 3 episodes for while I was gone. I edited them all, and then we disappeared and we haven't spoken for 3 weeks.
I mean, you and I have spoken.
Well, yeah, we streamed together. It would be hard not to talk to you. I would prefer not to,
Ooh.
but hey, you know what it is.
Fuck you. Stupid dumb bitch.
So,
Fucking hate you.
on that positivity note, it is time to end the episode.
Oh, yeah, I have a lot of
Good.
stories from my trip for next episode.
I'm very excited to hear
Some
them.
of which involve gross places.
Ooh, nice. I am doubly excited to hear them.
I am also very excited. All right,
All right.
Noah, let's round this out. Noah, where can they find you? Let's start with you.
Where can we find
You're
me?
back.
I'm back. I'm on Twitch a lot this week, and I am on Twitter and Instagram where you can watch me cook soup, and I'm on Tumblr where
Soup.
sometimes I share things from Jackson
Gang.
as Bubba da Bad, BUBBADABAD.
I think you
I've
can
been
go
having-
a dab.
No, I'm not. I don't even know how to say Bubba Wubba Dab in typing because I've never thought about it because it vexes me just trying to think of
You mean BUBBAWUBBADAB?
it's too wrong. It's not my username and I can't wrap my head around it.
I'm sorry that you have a small head.
Anyway,
How's that for derailing your train of thought?
Jackson, how about you? Where can we
I'm on
find you?
TikTok now.
You're on TikTok.
So follow me at
Jacksonium?
Jacksonium on TikTok. I haven't posted anything on there, but I might. I don't know.
I believe you
Well,
will.
Thanks, Noah. I appreciate your vote of confidence.
I'm glad that you believe in him. Somebody should.
Believe in the Noah who believes in you.
What a series that one was. But yeah, I'm on TikTok, so follow me there, I guess. It's just Jacksonium, just like it is everywhere except for Twitter. 1M. You know.
And there we go. Dan, what about you?
I was gonna say, what do you mean? There we go.
There we go. No, I was done. I don't know what you're talking about.
I have been also on Twitch a lot this week, and I'm hoping to do so a little more in the future. I picked up Doom, and I've been streaming that, and oh, dude, Doom Eternal is so good. I didn't get to talk about it, but God, it's so good. Oh God, it's so good.
I'm so glad that you like it.
So yeah, twitch.tv/born to rule, twitter.com/born to rule57, and instagram.com/something. At born to rule or at born to rule, I don't remember.
One of those.
And Noah and I are streaming on Thursday still.
Podcast. I was thinking, I know there's something else to say, and I don't remember what it is.
I was going to ask, do we have, we're not in a new month yet. We got...
Not in a new month yet. This is the last one for March. And we don't have any new things on Apple Podcasts, but hey, do review us, and I will give you a shout out.
Will you?
That is, yeah.
Why?
Because I'm going to read what they say.
Oh, okay.
You know, the usual.
I'm trying. Listen, I'm trying to understand. You know,
trying to understand.
It's been so long.
It's been so long. You can find us on other places though, as geez, it's been a while.
Where are we?
The Off the Air on Twitter, Facebook.com/OTA podcast, and Patreon.com/Off the Air. If you want to support us monetarily, you can drop some money there. We'll give you a shout out when you first sign up. And if you go for the higher tiers, we will be having, we finally got some bonus content together. It will be out soon. And we also have, what do you call? You can
rewards?
Have us say things. There's stuff, you know, it's a good time.
Like saying
I am very
things.
sorry. I was up until like 1:30. So, and then I woke up at 7:30 because my brother was coming to drop pizza dough off before church. It's been a weird day. I'm forgetting some of the things I'm supposed to say, but regardless of
how to
all
podcast
that,
completely.
I am forgetting completely how to podcast. So yeah, all
somebody
cool
come get their
and
mans.
Groovy. We'll see you next week in the month of April. Oh wait, is it April 1st? No, dang it, we miss April Fool's Day by one day. That's bogus.
Oh, no.
We done recording?